Computer. We are recording.
All right, everybody. Chris Cotton calling in from the lake tonight, and you're seeing my lovely wife Nikki there. And this is the small heat team call that we do once a month.
We're anything but
what?
We're anything but small.
Yes. All right. Small team in the sense that you're all in our open, not under another national marketing director. So welcome. We've got a lot of exciting things to you to bring to you today. Our motto is we are full speed stampede to Tampa. Full speed stampede to Tampa. And if you're new in the business, maybe you don't realize what we're talking about, but we have 2 conferences a year. They are life-changing. And our next one is coming up October 18th and 19th, maybe 18th, 19th, 20th in Tampa, Florida. So everything we're doing this month is forwarding our mission, impacting lives, creating income, making a difference, and building strong for bringing a great team into Tampa. We're going to talk more about that later. So to accelerate that massive momentum that we're seeing across the board here, not just in our team, but in lots of teams in the Juice Plus land. Nikki, do you have some cash incentives you want to share?
Yeah, we're going to start there. I'm pretty excited about the cash incentives. So for those of you that are, let me get this here. For those of you that are new, some of this is, you don't need to know all of the details. You only need to know what you might want to do to get more cash at conference. And the way in which the money is going to come to you, you're not going to worry about that. But for those of you that have been around for a while, you're going to get excited to hear how the way we're going to do the contest and the cash incentives this time are going to include some of the sponsors that are going to be able to gift their distributors and help with the conference cash. And I think that's really exciting. So to start off with is for every 300 points, remember, if you're new, don't let this get to you. Just get the general idea. For each 300 points that you add to your personal volume, plus 1 new rep, so you're going to get 300 in volume for you yourself, plus you bring on 1 new rep. At conference, we're going to be giving you $50 cash. So I want to give you an example of what that looks like to add on 300 points to get that cash. It could look like you signing up 5 Quattro customers in August. That will give you more than 300 points in your personal volume, and you sign up 1 distributor. Okay? So if you get 5 Quattro customers, or you might get 5 customers that get the trio and 1 box of complete. That's worth more than 300 points. So it's the customers that you personally are signing up is what's going to give you the conference cash in Tampa. If you got 600 points instead of 300 points, meaning that you got 10 customers that were all on the Quattro, you double your money and you'd get $100. And Heidi, if you would unmute yourself and just share with us, how many customers did you get last month?
16.
16. So is it possible to get 5? Is it possible to get 10? Is it possible to get 15? Because our lady over here was able to do that. So just to let you know, there is some conference cash that we'd love to give out at conference in Tampa. And guess where we are going to give it out? We are going to rock the yacht. So we have gotten the largest yacht on the Tampa Bay. We're doing it with some other teams. We're doing it with Kimberly Warlow's team and a couple other teams. This yacht holds 600 people. We're limiting it to 400 people because we want to have more space. We want to have, there's going to be a DJ, there's going to be dancing under the stars on the top level of the yacht. So we want to make sure we have enough room. And we're also probably going to get to be in a room with all of the heat people for the dinner portion. And after dinner, you'll be wandering all over the yacht. It's for a little over 3 hours. The yacht is less than a 5-minute walk from the convention center. So you're going to rock right from the Tampa Convention Center right over to the harbor and get right on the yacht. So one thing that I want, yeah, you're dancing it up already. So by the way, for those of you like Molly and Heidi and Kirsten, if you're on, we need a theme just for the heat team. So when we arrive, everybody knows who they're dealing with. So like, I don't know, flames painted on all of our faces. I don't know what it looks like, but we need something simple that we can all do before we get on that yacht, and not just a button. It's got to be something, I know you guys. So that's what I would love to do for the yacht. And then, and so we'll have our dinner, we'll give out our cash awards there. And so we're going to rock the yacht. A final piece about that is that the way that Kimberly has set it up, it is going to be on Eventbrite. Here's the part you need to understand. When you go to Eventbrite to register, you're going to be charged nothing. It's going to be a free ticket. They're trying to save everybody the Eventbrite fees. So what you're going to do, instead of paying on Eventbrite, as soon as you register on Eventbrite, you'll need to Venmo me the $50, and that will save everybody the fees. So we're going to probably save about $5, $6, $7 per person that way. So that's the way it's going to work. And so that's all I have to say for right now in terms of the incentives. I'm going to write it all out. We're going to be posting it so you guys have it in front of you so you would know exactly what it is. But that's the scoop with the Tampa and with the conference cash. So Chris, anything else on that, around that? Chris, we can't hear you. Let me, wait. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I could not unmute me, so next time you can do that, right?
I think we were both doing it at exactly the same time. I was trying to.
Okay.
So
probably. So that takes care of the cash incentives. What about the other cash that's available?
Oh, I forgot. Yes. So you sound like Kirk. You sound like. Okay, zip it. You sound like Kirk Douglas again. Maybe if you take your picture off, you'll have better bandwidth. That's what I'm to understand. If you shut your video down. But the other incentive is not only can you get cash, conference cash for attracting new customers, but also for doing connection calls. So for every 8 connection calls you do, and a connection call can look like you get somebody on the phone, a potential customer or distributor with Chris or I or whoever your upline is or your sideline, some expert, or you invite them to the back call and they get on, or you invite them to the 90-day game plan call and they get on. So anytime they are listening to you and another expert, it's going to count as a connection call. So 8 of those in a month is $25. Oh, and what I didn't tell you is how you get to be involved in the payout. So I'm going to do a little explanation here. And Molly, would you raise your hand? Just wave to everybody. Okay, so that's Molly. So under Molly, she could have Bliss. Say Bliss come to Tampa. And let's say Bliss does those 5 Quattro customers, Molly. So you, who are a qualifier, and again, if you're new and you don't understand what that is, don't worry about it. You as a qualifier are going to get to participate in that conference cash to Bliss. You'll do it, Michael and Mariah will do it, and Chris and I will do it. Your portion will be $10. And just so that you know, the really cool thing is we figured this out kind of based on what you earn as a qualifier under that distributor. You'll be earning well over $60. So your contribution of $10 is not going to hurt your pocket, but you still get to be part of the gift. And then Chris and I will probably be donating somewhere more like $30 per person. So that's what it looks like. And I think it's really fun that we get to all partake in that. So I am done with the conference cash.
And I got sideways there for a second. Did you talk about the Burdick cash?
Oh my gosh, no. I am so sideways. Woo! Woo! So we have our own conference cash incentives, both with what you add in your pay line and what you do for making connection calls. But Bob and Sue Burdick are directly our upline. And once every 3 years, all of the NMDs under them get together and we put in a big pool of money. And we end up raising somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 that we are going to give away on the Saturday after conference. So if any of you won any money from Conference Cash yet? Carrie, you have, Patty, you won $1,000, right?
Yes, I won $1,000 on my birthday, $500. It was awesome.
It was awesome. And Carrie, I think you've won $750 in cash.
Yep, absolutely. It was exciting.
Yeah, it is pretty exciting. So we've had a lot of our team members win. And the way that you win is you get your name in the hat. And you get your name in the hat by doing certain things. One of them is getting customers. So it's right in line with our incentive. The customers go all the way back to April. So it's really important that you understand how many times you can get your names in the hat. So if in April, let's just pretend you got 3 trio orders in April. A trio order is worth 2 points. That would mean 6 times your name went in the hat. So it's really important. The spreadsheet for this is posted on the Turn Up the Heat Facebook group. If you're new, have your upline help you do this. Do not tread alone. You don't need to. Don't make this difficult. Ask your upline to help you because they'll know what to do. And for you uplines, if you're trying to help your person figure out, because it's not by customer orders, it's by the kind of order. So you get like 1 point for a duo, you get 1 point for a vineyard. So that's 2 points for a trio. So you can't just count orders. You have to actually see what they ordered. So for those of you that understand this, you'll go to My Team Data, you'll go to Customer Analysis, and you'll pick the month of April for each of your team members, and it'll show just what they ordered, and you'll be able to show them how to track it. So enough of that boring housekeeping stuff. The good stuff is, let's just impact a lot of lives. Let's get your name in the hat for a lot of extra money, and then let's see where our money's going to go. Are we going to give it away? Are we going to share it? Are we going to put it towards our family? Does it go towards retirement? It's all possible. So I'm turning it back to you, Chris.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I want to do a little bit of a training that I think will be effective both for the new people and some of you with more experience. And as we opened the call, we talked about the fact that there is a lot of momentum going on. And most of that momentum, most of the growth is directly related to how many connection calls you do on a weekly basis or a daily basis. And the reason that is true is because maybe you've heard this, that duplication creates cash, or duplication creates momentum, duplication creates impacting lives. It's not what works in our business that's important, it's what can duplicate. And for that reason, we teach you all systems, because you can duplicate a system, but you can't duplicate a person. You're not going to be the next Jeff or Birdie. You're not going to be the next Nikki Cotton. You're not going to be the next Heidi Biggs. You're going to be you, using, learning, and teaching the system. And so one of the most valuable parts of the connection calls is the welcome call. And we're just seeing some people that are having a little bit of trouble getting their distributors to want to use it. And I just want to paint a vision of why that might be happening. And that is that you've probably heard people say, well, I'm not really interested in doing the business. If you have a new distributor and they tell you they're not interested in doing the business, there's a reason. And I'm going to get to that. Or they might sign up to do the business and you ask them to do a welcome call with Nikki or Chris, and they say, well, not really, I don't want to, I just want to go slow. Or I just want to do it at my pace. Or I'm not a salesperson. Well, here's what I kind of had some clarity about today. Every one of those responses from your distributor, your new distributor, is an attempt to keep control. And it got so clear to me when somebody said it to me today that I already know that our society has an addiction to control. And the crazy thing is, it's almost all an illusion. You might hear people say, well, I know me, and that's just not me. Well, here's the thing. What they don't know is what we have to offer. There's probably some of you on the phone today. If you haven't been to a conference, you probably don't know what we have to offer. And I hope that doesn't offend anybody. It's a bold statement, but we know it to be true we're going to talk about Tampa before I put the microphone down here tonight, but there's so many people that join our business, and when you ask them to get on a welcome call with Nikki or Chris, they don't want to do it. And I tell you why. They are keeping their experience based on the past. They're not thinking about the future. They have no idea what this culture can bring to them in the sense of health, of self-help, self-improvement, community, and financial improvement. So they're really shooting blind, but what they don't want to give up is control. And I'll tell you this, all of that comes from their head. It's usually fear-based, and they're trying to play it safe. So it's your job, no matter what, not to buy that story. Let them know in whatever verbiage it takes, and if you need help, talk to your upline or talk to us, and we will help you get them on the phone with us, because this October, 28 years, we have been practicing and getting better at getting people to go from their head to their hearts. And if we can get them into their heart and out of their head, out of thinking from past, we can get them into future thinking, possibility thinking, give them back the ability to dream. Then what we're doing when we make that request, when you make that request for them to get on the phone, you're just being your authentic self. You know this is the system. You may or may not have already seen the magic that happens when people get on the phone with us. And it's not that we're so magical. It's just that we know if we can get them out of their head and connected to their heart, things can change. So you're being authentic, which is one of the gifts we bring to the marketplace. You're being your true essence, and you're gifting that to the world. And if you don't step up and try to create the urgency, you're really doing that new distributor a disservice, because they just don't know what's possible. And I just share a story with you. One of the greatest teachers, if not the greatest teacher in history, once sent his people out to share a message, and he sent them out 2 by 2. There's a training right there, right? Get a buddy. He sent them out 2 by 2, and he told them, he said, you're going to go house to house. And he said, not every house will be of your accord, which is another way of saying not everybody's going to get our message. But same with this new person, okay, that you're talking to about getting them on a call with Nikki or I, is they're not going to get it at first. So the teacher said to his people, he said, so as you leave those houses, as you leave that house, make sure you remove all the sand from your sandals. Remove all the dust. And what the lesson was there is, it's not so important whether they buy your story. What's important is that you don't buy their story. So when somebody tells you, well, I don't really want to do the business, or I want to go slow, or I want to do it at my own pace, that's okay. Agree with them, meet them where they are. I don't want to be a salesperson, no problem. It'll be great for you to talk to Chris and Nikki. They can show you how you can do this. They've got so much experience, and it would be good for me to be on the call with you, because I learn something every time I'm on the call with them. They are a depth of knowledge and wisdom, and do whatever it takes, because we have the potential to change that situation. And just as another thing to remember, 75% of all national marketing directors, when they get on the stage as a national marketing director at conference, 75% of them are going to say, I told my sponsor I did not want to do this business. And now here they are creating, about to receive a benefits package that's worth over $50,000 a year, and totally have changed their life, not just financially, but the people they can impact, the fulfillment that they get, and of course being part of this community. And so that's a good segue right there into why everybody needs to be in Tampa. If you want to build a business into a leadership level, if you want to create a team that's going to therefore impact more lives and create higher secondary income or eventually primary income, if that's your goal, you need to be in Tampa. If your goal is to get your product for free, get 6 or 7 customers, that's okay. We love you. And you don't need to come to Tampa. But beyond that, it's kind of non-negotiable. Nobody has ever risen to the leadership positions in our company without coming to conference. It's simply, that's the way it works. Now, the good news is the conferences are fun. They're important, and you get a vision. Okay, you'll get a vision that if you have not been to a conference yet, you probably don't quite have that vision. I think there was another famous saying, I think it was in the Bible, that said, "With no vision, my people will perish." Well, if you don't get the vision for who we are and what we do, you will perish as far as the team is going. And I didn't mean to sound that strong, but it changes your life. It changes your picture, and then you can go out. You become contagious. You pick up an energy at conference that you can't get anywhere else. And that energy, when you get back and start talking to your friends and family, it's never what you say, it's how you make them feel. And the energy that you pick up is what is going to make them get that, hey, this is something special. And so sometimes people, either yourself or somebody on your team, may come up with what they think is a viable excuse, like, I can't afford it. That is by far an anti-excuse, because if you can't afford to come to conference, there's no way you can afford not to be there. Absolutely. So we have hundreds of stories of people scraping, and we have people on this call tonight that can verify this, scraping the money together, maxing out the last credit card, whatever it takes. And my guarantee is within 90 days after you come to conference, you will either have all that money that you spent to get there back in your pocket, or you'll have enough of residual income. So let's just say it's going to cost you $1,000 to go to Tampa and back, and food and the whole works. That's, probably you can do it for less. But all it takes is 2 or 3 new team members that get the vision from your contagiousness and go to work and start changing people's lives. And that money, as you know, my definition of residual income is that you have the capacity to be paid for the rest of your life on your next conversation. You come back fired up from conference and share that with a few people. When that first check comes in, maybe you picked up an extra $300. Well, that $300 is going to come the next month and the next month and the next month, as long as you keep working. So you can see there's a big return on this investment. It is not an expense, it's an investment. Another excuse you might hear of people, I'm just too busy to go to conference, got too much on my plate. Well, what's going to change next year and the year after that? If you don't come to conference and get a vision that is contagious, that you can share with others, nothing's going to change. Can't find a babysitter for my kids. Do whatever it takes. Move mountains. It's that effective. And before I close it up here, I'm just curious, because I can't see on my phone. Is Kirsten on the line?
No, she's not.
Okay. All right. So she was a perfect example of Indy when I said, don't worry about the money will show up. And I said, did you get your plane ticket? And she said, well, I'm about ready to get it. I don't know how I'm going to tell my husband it's $384. And I said, don't worry, it's going to work out. The next day she went to work the very next morning, and her boss came by early in the day and said, hey, you know what? We found a accounting error, and we owe you some money. We didn't pay you. And she said, really? How much? He said, $384. So I hope you get the point of that story is, who knows where it's going to come from, but it pays to show up in Tampa. And you know what? The best part? It's really, really fun. So come play with us in Tampa, and I give it back to you, Nikki.
Well, I just got a text from Brittany, and it's just, she's right on around what conference is. And I'm going to take it a step further, Brittany, than what you commented on, is that, do you trust and respect the process and our system in terms of holding a container for you for your future to make extra income? If you trust that process, if you don't have any doubt, if you trust in the possibility, then you'll value the possibility of what conference can bring to you. So I just want you to think about what the possibility is. And, we live in a place of possibility, which is, I think, the key. That's what I love about this culture. We are a possibility culture. If we were thinking in the past culture, we'd never be moving forward. But we hold the vision for what's possible, and we stand in that place really strong. So I just want you to be thinking about, if you've tried the system so far, some of you who heard about the 2,000 plus and said, oh my gosh, and I'm going to have to buy product for myself, and then that's going to cost money, and then I have to pay a fee. And some of you who started like that, but you finished your 2,000 plus, you learned, and we told you that it's possible. We can show you how to create the possibility with the results of going to conference. So I probably didn't do that justice, Brittany, but it's as good as I could do.
Does Brittany have anything she wants to add?
Yeah, maybe she does. And in which case you'd have to mute yourself, Britt.
The only thing I wrote was just that it's the invitation when you're speaking to other people is to take it out of an afford conversation. It's not can I afford this? It's do I value what's possible enough to create this?
Great. Thank you.
So think about what's possible. Think about the respect you have for the product, the company, the industry, and the trust perhaps that you've developed with this team, so that when we're telling you this is going to create huge possibility for you, and what is the value of that to you. And then Noelle, did you have your hand up, or you were just kind of waving? No, okay. I thought you were going to say something like brilliant. So, any other last comments about what conference did for them? Anybody want to make just the difference between before you went and after you went? Who were you in that process?
Well, Nikki, I can speak to what it did for my business.
Okay.
So I had someone who came to conference, who came back, and within a very short period of time, 3 to 4 weeks, fast-tracked to sales coordinator, totally changed the foundation of my business. It was somebody who was just looking at nutrition as a side interest, and ended up putting on 60 customers and 12 new distributors in that 3-week period of time, and totally changed my business completely. And so, I mean, I saw the power of what conference can do for somebody, and she loves the community. She loves the people in it. And it was really a changing point for her.
Yeah. Great.
And so thank you, Carrie. There's a big message there is, yes, come to conference, but don't come alone. Bring some people.
Yeah. That's the key piece.
Right.
All right. Well, it's almost 6:30. If we have any questions about anything, let me know. Right now, we can answer them, whether it's about the cash incentives, whether it's about Tampa, whatever. We've got a couple more minutes that we can answer some questions if you have any. Yeah, Beth. I can't. Okay, go on.
Thank you. If you could briefly go over the cash incentives, there's a lot I didn't get, or are you going to spell it out, or should I get with somebody another time?
I can say it one more time, Beth, but basically you're looking at how many points you personally accumulate via customers. And if you personally can accumulate 300 points, and that could look like 5 Quattro customers. That's how many, and we're not talking, the confusing thing is promotional points is what you're used to looking at, Beth, the total points.
Yes.
We're looking at what you get paid on. So the total points, for example, of a trio is only 40, is for this purposes, is 42 points, not 169.5.
I understand that.
Okay, so if you accumulate 300 true points, 5 Quattro customers, that's an extra $50 in cash for you and 1 new distributor.
Okie dokie. And the Burdick cash?
The Burdick cash, you're going to have to go online and look at the spreadsheet, and Michael and Mariah can help you do that, and you're going to look at each month. And there's a point system. They have a ledger for the points. So you get 1 point for a duo. You get 1 point for every other product. So if you order a shake, it's 1 point. If you order 4 shakes for your customers, it's 4 points. So you're going to add up your points each month and fill it in on that spreadsheet and give it to your upline sales coordinator.
Thank you.
And you can find that exactly what you ordered each month by going to My Team Data and then my customer analysis. And all of your customers for each month will come up and you can see exactly what they ordered. Then if you have the ledger in front of you for the points, you'll be able to match it up.
Thank you, Nikki.
Okay, anything else? All right, let's get a lot of names in the hat. Let's get a lot of new volume going so that you can impact lives, you can get cash conference, and change the world. It's a good combination.
Woo!
All right, you guys, have a great night.
Night, everybody.
Love y'all.
Love you.
Love you.
And I've recorded this.